As a philosopher once said, take them to the bar or put them in the jar. Welcome back to another episode of the MK Productions podcast. I'm your host, Mac, joined here as usual by my co-host, Christian, aka Miss Flamingo. Say hi to the folks listening at home, Kristen.
Hello. I love the fact now that you're starting with a quote now, with a philosopher. Pretty soon you're just going to pop something out and just say something totally random that's going to be so irrelevant to today's topic.
We are joined here by a special guest, aren't we, Kristen?
Yes, we are joined by a guest, our first guest for 2022. His name goes by Bill, last name Deaton, and he's like a new fresh face to me, and hopefully a new fresh face to all of you guys. So please welcome Bill Deaton.
All right. Thank you so much for having me, Mac and Kristen. Happy to be here.
Yes.
Like they said, I'm Bill from Bill Reads Bad Reviews. I have a podcast also that loves to talk about movies just like these two fine people here. And over on my show, we kind of delve into the world of bad reviews. I essentially chalk it up to it's where we discuss all the awful things that people say about our favorite movies. And so it's just a ton of fun. And I'm glad to be here and glad to get to talk Scream today and hang out with Kristen and Mac. So awesome.
Now,
So what
I
made-
have to bring up something. You brought up The Princess Diaries the other day, I thought.
I did. I covered that one just
Why
recently.
did you cover that film? Because that was my childhood movie growing up. I was born in 95. And when this film came out, it was like 2000, 2001.
2001.
So seeing 6-year-old Kristen just like her eyes like lit up like, oh, I want to be like Princess Anne Hathaway. So did you really shit on that movie?
No, I did not. No, absolutely. Lots of other people did. Let me get that straight. Obviously, as much as you like a movie, there's still going to be people that hate it. Doesn't matter how much you like it. There's always going to be haters for one reason or another.
Yeah.
But no, I love Princess Diaries. My wife actually showed it to me a few years ago. She's like, you got to see this. You haven't seen it. And so like just the other day I was going back. I was like, yeah, I need to cover a movie that like a ton of people love. That they'd like love to hear something bad said about it, because like who would want to say something bad about Princess Diaries? Like it was an awesome movie. And so I was like, I got to do that one. Had to cover it.
So what made you decide to jump into the world of internet, content, with the podcast and the bad reviews? Tell us about that.
So actually, I guess it was around pandemic time too. I started an anonymous Instagram account, just going and reviewing movies because obviously it was the pandemic and we had a lot of time to watch movies. So I was like, why not, right? So my wife and I watched a ton of movies, started the Instagram account, kind of got off of socials for about a year, just kind of got way too overwhelmed by everything going on. And recently I quit my corporate job to help her run her business. And so we're kind of traveling around doing that. And I was like, you know what? I kind of want to try my hand at something. I feel like I'm halfway funny and kind of creative. So I was like, hey, why don't I start a podcast?
Anybody can be creative. We all are creative.
Exactly. And so I was like, you know what? I'm just going to kind of give it a whack. And I love to talk about movies. And I love reading. I've always loved reading bad reviews, especially when I go to eat at restaurants and whatnot. I love looking up like the bad reviews of people that just leave just bonkers things on there, And so it just kind of translated into movies too, and here we are.
For anyone that's they come across you, there's new and everything. Is there one particular episode of the podcast or one post that you've done that you'd be like, that's the one you should check it out if you want to get to know me a little bit more before you dive into the iceberg?
Ooh, that's a good question. Strangely enough, I think it's like episode 23 or 22. Obviously, I'm pretty new. It's only been like 5 months. But I just covered Twilight a couple episodes ago.
Oh.
And I'd gotten commission through like a website that I have, so somebody paid for me to cover it. And I kind of think that it was a good friend of ours, and I kind of think they were doing it to like mess with me just to get me to talk about Twilight. But it's been my most popular episode to date. Without a doubt. It blew up for whatever reason. And so I was like, hey, I guess it was a good thing.
There's some nostalgia for Twilight.
Comeback, that's for sure, especially with like the Gen Z nowadays, they're people are popping off on that,
right,
it's kind of strange.
I was pretty shocked. I was like, wait, why is everybody listening to this one? I have a ton of the other movies that I rather than watch and listen to. I was like, well, hey, doing it for the listeners, so go ahead.
Yeah.
Twilight.
What's one movie that you love, but a lot of critics don't like, that you do want to cover eventually for your show?
That I do want to cover, so not have covered yet, but want to cover. One that comes to mind is, I guess, either the classic. Well, I was gonna say I was wanted to cover Alien from 1979, obviously pretty soon, or The Punisher from 2004. Punisher is one of my top favorite movies with Thomas Jane.
Love that movie.
It's super. I know it's not super popular, by no means the greatest movie of all time, but it just something about it, man. Just grew up watching it a bunch of times and just love that movie.
Will you eventually cover The Room? Because that's a popular film around Mac and I.
Ooh, I could. I totally could. I hadn't thought about it. I have an ongoing list on my phone of just like movies. Every time I think of one, I just kind of write it down. And so I'll definitely add that one to the list as well.
What about Chappie?
Oh, Chappie.
Chappie.
Oh, come on.
Yeah,
Am I the one that loves Chappie? Chappie.
You and Flix Talk are the
Oh,
only
geez.
two who have an appreciation for Chappie. Shout out to Flix Talk, our friend David.
Hey, somebody's got to shout it out, right? Somebody's got to show some love.
For Chappie.
That killed Neil Blomkamp's career pretty much. He was gonna do RoboCop and Fox said no, and then he was gonna do the Alien movie and Ridley Scott's like, yeah, no, Chappie is not it. So you need to.
What really made him tank was that demonic movie that came out last year.
That was supposed to be his comeback, like Josh Trank with
that
Capone.
did not come back. That went down into the ocean and sank like a submarine.
Oh. But,
Sorry.
But yeah,
Neil.
it's good to have you on, Bill. We're excited.
Happy to be here, my guy.
So on today's episode, we're going to be covering some news topic in the entertainment world, TV or movies, and then each of us will be giving our thoughts on the new Scream reboot, sequel, true legacy sequel, not a reboot, but we will see what it is, and we're going to wrap it up with a special surprise and the box office numbers. So, Bill, Kristen, are you both ready to get started?
Let's do this.
All right, let's get right into the news.
This is CNN.
All right, so the news for this week. So first news topic I got, do you guys remember the hit show SWAT Cats?
No.
Yeah, sure don't.
All right, I feel old right now, but SWAT Cats was a 90s show on actually Cartoon Network, which was about two cats who lived in Catropolis, and they were fighter pilots, and they took out evil in the city, and it's getting a reboot. And it had that radical, SWAT Cats like do 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 do. Like I'm so excited because the creator of SWAT Cats, he also made Mega Babies.
What's Mega Babies?
Look it up, and that's all I can say because it's very
I just looked up
terrifying.
SWAT Cats, and it's very, very 90s.
Oh yeah,
I love the fact it's spelled with a K.
Yeah, because cats.
It just needs to add a Z to it to make it even more 90s.
Yeah, but
Right.
SWAT Cats is getting a reboot, and so does no one ever seen SWAT Cats?
Nope. I will have to go and watch this. This will be added to the Cartoon Network of shows that I will probably never get to watch.
Well,
the first photos that come up, it looks awesome. So I definitely gotta check that out too.
Well, it's crazy because like the first time I heard of it, there was that time when Boomerang usually just played all the older stuff, and then it would come on 11 o'clock, and it was actually really cool and radical. Like, oh my god, it's called Radical Squadron, but I liked it. It's like SWAT Cats, give it a shot, and that theme song is crisp.
Do you remember who provided the voices for the show?
I'm looking at it right now. The voices of the cats would be Barry Gordon and Charlie Adler.
And now are they coming back for the original?
That we don't know. All we know is that the reboot is going to be done they're teaming up. The creator of it, Christian Tremblay, he is teaming up with Toons Media.
The way I see it is that they're probably going to pick somebody from like SNL to do like the voices, like a Bobby Moynihan or like an Alex Moffat for like the recent season. Like, you know how they did the DuckTales reboot? Like they'll get like the voices of those to do the voices. Like they'll forget like the classics. They'll bring in somebody like I said from SNL.
Also, fun fact, the main cop that was like on the SWAT Cats, he's the hard commissioner. He was voiced by the late great Gary Owens, who provided the voice of Space Ghost in the original Space Ghost series.
I didn't know.
I feel old right now because
you love your animation. I just never knew that animation.
That's one of the few that I didn't know. It also says that Mark Hamill was a voice actor on there too, so that's kind of crazy.
I think
Mark Hamill is like the king.
He is the king. I just didn't peg him to be on. When I look up SWAT Cats, I don't think I would have thought of Mark Hamill.
I just
that's cool.
Him on that now.
Yeah, but so go check out SWAT Cats if you have.
SWAT Cats.
Kristen, what you got for your news story?
All right. Let's see. Let's kick things off on my end with the WGA Award nomination list.
Okay.
So, for those who don't know, the Writers Guild Award announced their nominations for this year. There's a couple of different categories. We got the nominees for this year. So we have the nominations for original screenplay, and they include Being the Ricardos, Don't Look Up, and The French Dispatch, along with King Richard and Licorice Pizza, which I'm not surprised Licorice Pizza is on here, even though the fact I was in that majority of audiences who did not like it.
Yeah.
I was not surprised to see it get nominated, and then, of course, Wes Anderson gets nominated because, he's a king, and even though I wasn't a fan of French Dispatch either, that's not surprising. Adam McKay got nominated, but for somebody I thought we were going to see on this list was Kenneth Branagh for Belfast, because I thought that screenplay was excellent, and he won the Golden Globe recently for screenplay. So I was kind of bummed not to see him there. What do you think of those nominees for original screenplay, Mac?
Being the Ricardos is a piece of shit.
It was absolute. I did not like it. It was so bad.
It was like, I'm looking forward because Amy Poehler is gonna do her first directorial piece as a documentary about Lucille and Desi.
Yes.
So I'm more confident in
right.
that. But Being the Ricardos is just Aaron Sorkin being like, I can do anything I want because I have Oscars.
That's true.
And it's like as soon as they had Nicole Kidman, because me and my friend, shout out to Kelsey, we are like I Love Lucy fans, and we said the perfect I Love Lucy people would have been Emma Stone and Pedro Pascal.
Absolutely.
So it's like
Absolutely.
Emma Stone would have killed it. She would have gotten her next Oscar with that. I didn't get to see that film at Sundance, though. I did see all the documentaries that were being shown. That was one of them. But then I heard Amazon picked it up. I was like, all right, I'll wait till Amazon to see it. But what do you think of these nominations, Bill, before we moved on to the next category?
I was gonna say, I gotta agree with Wes right off the bat. Heard nothing but terrible reviews about Being the Ricardo. Saw a little bit of it, but just heard nothing great, nothing good to speak of.
It's probably gonna go to either the Don't Look Up or Licorice Pizza, though.
Yeah.
Have you
For
seen any
sure.
of these? Besides,
I have. I've seen King Richard. I got to see, which I thought was a great movie. Freaking loved that one. Licorice Pizza and Don't Look Up. I've not yet got the chance to see. I talked to someone about Don't Look Up, and they kind of went off on how much they hated it. So I kind of put it to the bottom of the list for now.
Why was it so hate? Why is there such a divide over it? I've heard multiple things, so I was just kind of curious.
Because it's like this whole thing with the end of the world, and it's like so different from what Adam McKay has done. It's just like pushing like this. People don't like the agenda being pushed for it, which I get. Like I get the political side to it, and then the comedy side to it, but yet the comedy isn't strong. I think a lot of people were looking forward to like seeing like something more extreme, even though it is extreme. I just don't think people were.
So you do realize he did The Big Short, right?
That's excellent, though. It's such a difference. I will say there is a difference between seeing it go from The Big Short to Don't Look Up. They're both similar, given the way it's filmed and stylized and put together, but presentation-wise, with the script, The Big Short has a much better presentation-wise, what it wants to tell with its themes and story, as opposed to Don't Look Up.
Okay. That's
the way I see it. But Licorice Pizza, on the other hand, is probably going to get it, which I'm not surprised. But I just hope it I personally have my thoughts about it, but we can go into that for another time. But in terms of adapted screenplay, films like Coda, Dune, Nightmare Alley, Tick, Tick, Boom, and West Side Story also got nominated. And all these are all excellent screenplays. So I'm very pleased to see all these nominated. I have a feeling, though, it's probably going to go to I don't think it's going to go to Dune, because people said it was very confusing given the fact it was split into two parts, the whole film. I think it's probably going to go to either Tick, Tick, Boom or West Side Story.
My money's on West Side Story.
What about you, Bill?
Man, I'm about to go against the Mac and probably go with Tick, Tick, Boom.
All these films came out great, though.
Absolutely.
What about you, Bill? Did you see any of these? Or all of them?
I have not seen all of them. I missed Coda, Dune, and Nightmare Alley. But no, Tick Tick Boom, freaking, I thought it was awesome.
The music, I think, excels more that than the actual script, though. That's the only thing. The more I kept thinking about it over time,
That's fair.
definitely they're all great, and I love that West Side Story is nominated here. It would the way that they took West Side Story and made it a whole new direction. It's beautiful. I loved it. There's a couple of other nominations. If you want to look at the TV, just go to the awards.wga.org to see all the other nominations. But those are the two main nominee categories we're just looking at. So, Mac, why don't you kick us off to the next news story?
All right, so this is gonna be. I have one more after this one, but this one I actually want to talk about. That's actually kind of funny. So, did you guys hear that Kendrick Lamar is teaming up with Matt and Trey from South Park, and he's gonna make his first movie? Do you know what the movie's about?
No, I didn't hear that, but I did hear that Kendrick Lamar is teaming up with them.
Oh, what you want to take a guess? You two, what the movie might be, what the premise is?
I have no idea.
This is all news to me, so I couldn't guess if I wanted to.
The plot of the movie is going to be about a man of African American descent will be playing. He signs up to be a slave in an internship, for a historical project, and he finds out that his girlfriend's family owned his family in a comedy film. And Twitter had an absolute field day with it, and I realized I feel like it could work. Because it's Matt and Trey, and Kendrick's attached to it, so Kendrick might have that self-aware meta humor. But yeah, Twitter was not happy with that. Everyone was so pissed off.
It's Twitter; they're all gonna get up in an uproar. Anything. Everybody's gonna get on their soapbox and complain, like everybody.
What do y'all think about this plot, Bill? You first. What do you think about this intriguing story?
You know, that sounds pretty much right up those two guys' alley, especially coming from South Park, because they've covered, as you've seen in the show, just for about everything from the ends of the world. So every kind of subject, every kind of topic. So, it sounds about right. But it's interesting to hear that Kendrick's on board with that and kind of teaming up with them.
I think given how outlandish they are and how outrageous they can be with their comedy, they know they can push some buttons, whether it might be, a tragic event or the pandemic, or when they talked about QAnon recently, they did that QAnon special. They like to poke fun of everything, and so knowing that they're going to tell this story and maybe make some kind of humor out of it, I don't know how they're going to say it or deliver it, but there's going to be an audience that's going to watch for sure because people love to laugh at them.
Kendrick's a big name attached to it too. But actually, speaking of which, did you guys watch the trailer for Medea's Homecoming?
No, I didn't even watch it.
I've not.
I don't know why it cut to. I just thought about it. I was like, oh yeah, I forgot. It's another wacky, zany comedy. That's probably what I think this movie might be. But I feel like Matt and Trey, they're good with the last movie they did was Basketball. That was 2006.
I didn't even see that either.
I watched Basketball. How about you, Bill? You watched Basketball?
I've heard it brought up several times in different conversations, but I've never seen it.
It is a film where they combine baseball and basketball, and it's an experience. It's the only movie that's the only movie they've done, because the last one was that South Park movie back in the 90s, but they haven't done a South Park movie in a theatrical movie since the 90s. I don't know if they'll ever do it again since they got 20 more seasons.
Do they know where this movie's going to go to? Is it going to go to streaming, or is it going to go straight into theatrical yet? Does it say in the article?
No, not yet, but I'm assuming they're going to try to get this in theaters.
I wouldn't be surprised if they do it there, or it's going to go straight to Paramount since they have that deal with, since all their South Park episodes are on there. I wouldn't be surprised if it even ends up on there.
Maybe.
So, did you have one last news story you wanted to cover before we end off on mine?
Yeah, so, are you guys fans of The Rock?
Oh, yeah, of course you had to bring this
The
up.
Rock.
That's why I didn't...
So,
bring it on, man.
The Rock is going to be... Now, he announced recently that he's going to be making a video game movie based on a video game he's played for a few years now. And speculation has run rampant. We don't know when the announcement's going to come because obviously, Black Adam's coming out this year. So we got to focus on that first. But the big rumor on the Reddit sphere, Twitter sphere, internet sphere, is that the movie he's hinting at is Call of Duty. That's the rumor.
Really?
Yes. So if that's true, would you want The Rock to be in a Call of Duty game? Or Call of Duty movie, or what video game do you think The Rock will be making? Maybe it's Doom 2? Or what do y'all think?
Well,
Just silence.
since I don't know my video games as well, you're asking the noob. It can't be Uncharted, obviously.
Maybe it's his version.
Oh God, just imagine him as a Nathan Drake.
Oh,
That's
please
terrifying.
no.
No, yeah, that's
That would ruin everything for me, my guy.
Oh God, I don't know, but I don't know. Pac-Man.
Oh God, Jesus, that's terrifying.
Just see The Rock running around in all those tunnels chasing the ghosts.
I'll just go with Pac-Man as a little rock. Just imagine trying to get, like, you know how he makes his pancakes or shows off his food every once in a while on Instagram?
Yeah.
Just that'll be him just snatching up the food that he likes to eat on
Bill,
his cheat days.
You got any ideas what video game movies he's talking about? Video game he's
Man,
talking
if it is Doom 2, I'm gonna be amped because I loved Doom, the original one. Oh my gosh. I
That
know
Uh,
had
it's so
Michael
goofy.
Bay attached to it, right? Michael Bay had an attachment to it,
I think it was the producer.
or a producer. There was like some sort. He had to take part in it somehow, but he wasn't. I just thought it completely about it. I don't know.
All I know is it's better than Doom Annihilation.
Oh my gosh. You know that's
And-
right.
But he's like, instead of a Doom guy, how about a Doom woman?
Oh gosh.
Jeez.
But I
guess I could see him in Call of Duty because I mean he's done like what G.I. Joe movies and all kinds of action movies and stuff like that. So I guess it's not too far off for the guy because he's just about done everything else.
Mhm.
Not to say that I enjoyed everything he does, but you know, hey, if you can do it, why not?
Now wait. Before I move on to my last story. How do you feel about Jason Momoa becoming part of The Rock's family, quote unquote, Fast and the Furious 10?
Oh, the Rock said go F yourself to Vin Diesel. I ain't part of the family.
True.
He just said screw it. I don't want to do that.
Not
So,
even that with Jason Momoa being added?
I don't care.
You don't
No,
care?
No, because he's just gonna be like the cool villain. He's like, yeah. He's like, yeah. He's gonna be like, he's gonna do all the like. Wait, hold up. He's gonna be Aquaman, but like, the freaking, because they said he's the villain, right?
I don't know. I just
He's
saw
like-
he was like, people confirmed it, and then it's like he's in talks. So they don't even know yet. I don't think.
If he's the villain, like that'd be interesting because I don't think I've ever seen him in a villain role. But if he's just there to replace The Rock, and that's kind of like a cheap, not cheap, but kind of like Stop and Shop version of The Rock with Jason Momoa.
Stop and Shop
Right.
version of The Rock.
Stop and shop.
Because they're like, we need a Samoan. This is good enough. All right, Jason, what are you doing? You're trying to get Amber Heard canceled. Yeah, all right, do that.
I just want to say, Kristen, when you edit this, can you send me a sound bite of Max screaming right there? That
Oh, it's already going to be included in the episode. We love Mac and I scream all the time. We just
Let's go.
toot and holler at each other. It becomes a mess, but that's what we love about our show. All right, and our last movie news before we head off into the ride and talking about Scream. It's been announced that Billy Crystal is set to receive the Lifetime Achievement Award at the Critics' Choice Awards this year. So the comedy legend will be getting a nice big award because all the critics just love Billy Crystal. I enjoy some Billy Crystal movies myself. The man has been in so many movies like Analyze This, the Monsters Universe movies, you know, those Monsters Inc. movies we all grew up with. Most recently, he started with Tiffany Haddish in the movie Here Today. He was also in The Princess Bride. So many other movies, including Spinal Tap. Just a legend will be receiving this award. Mac, what do you think of this award being given to an icon like Billy Crystal?
Well, I see he hasn't done a single video game, so I don't care. No, it's okay. But I'm happy, you know. Like I said, I only really know him for freaking Monsters Inc. and I thought he was good as Mike Wazowski. He was really funny, and I don't know. It's just like it's cool because he's one of the few people in Hollywood that I haven't really heard anything like bad about him. There's always like that subtext like, oh, I don't like, but nothing really like definitely like bad. And like, you know, I'm just happy for him that, you know, finally get your flowers.
Are you a Billy Crystal fan, Mr. Bill? From going to another Bill to another Bill?
I was gonna say, us Bill's got to compete. No, I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I kind of mimic what Max says. You know, he doesn't really do anything too sketchy, too offbeat. to just kind of out of the blue, and he just seems like a good dude. And again, you can't hit on Monsters Inc.
He's been a great figure for, especially in the time of the 80s, because one of the biggest films he's done is When Harry Met Sally, which is just so beloved by so many. One of the greatest rom-coms. Billy Crystal, I'm excited to see what kind of speech he'll make. And the man's got more talent and more years ahead of him, so it's amazing to see him take on this award. That's all the movie news we got for now. If you have any news you want to share with us, please send it over to Mac and I on Instagram, or share with us on our Instagram page at MNK Productions. Don't forget to put those underscores in when you find our page. So, yeah. Mac, are you ready to talk some Scream?
Yes, let's do it. Let's talk about Scream.
How about you, Bill? You ready to get your Scream on?
Oh yeah, I'm ready for this.
Sid, it's happening. 3 attacks so far.
Webb.
Whatever his link is to our past, it ends here. I've seen this movie before.
Not this movie, Sydney.
Scream.
All right, so the topic for today, we're going over the Legacy sequel, #soft reboot, but you don't want to say it's reboot because it sounds weird out loud. And new entry, Scream 2022, aka Scream 5. And this is the first Scream movie made after the passing of Wes Craven back in 2015, and is the sequel to the highly divisive Scream 4 that came out in 2011. So almost 11 years since the Scream movie. To sum up the plot of the new Scream movie, it's pretty much about, hey, we got to get the band back together because there is a new string of Ghostface killings in Woodsbury, and we got to figure it out. So we got to meet with the new generation of cast, we got to meet with the old one, and they got to figure out what's going on and have all the red herrings and meta commentary you want, and that's pretty much the new Scream movie. So
bringing it to a new light, to a new generation of fans, and I loved it.
Yep. So I have a story of when I went to go see Scream in theaters.
Ooh. Story
Tell,
time with Matt.
go off.
Okay, so I saw it Saturday night, like the Saturday after they came out. So I went to Regal, and I never go to Regal. Regal's like a last resort for me. And I picked the back row. I'm like, all right, perfect. You know, sometimes back row seats when you're by yourself, it's cool. But when I went, there was a couple next to me. They got the 2 seats to my right. I was like, okay, you can spread out a little bit. Then there was these 2 guys, top left of the back theater. And one of the guys, I don't know if he was being sincere or he was just trying to, like, be funny. But every time someone got stabbed, he's like, ah! Ay, papi! And, like, at first,
Oh my gosh.
It was annoying, but, like, near the end, I actually was enjoying it because it went with the movie. I was like... I love it. It was just, I don't know if it was serious or not, and it was just funny. And it's just like, my God. But I was like, yeah, I'm never going to Regal Cinema. I will see it earlier to avoid all the people.
I saw this opening night. I was very excited to see this. As someone who's a very big Scream fan, I knew I had to go see it opening night. And to recap, Mac, do you remember when we discussed these Scream movies? Just about a year ago, we did a retrospective of them.
Yeah, and I said that my ranking was Scream 1, Scream 4, Scream 2, Scream 3.
That's the same way I had in mine. Bill, before we get into your thoughts about the Scream reboot, new 2022 version, have you seen any of them, or did you go in completely blind, saying, I'm just going to go in and enjoy it for the fun, or... Tell us about your Scream experience.
I've definitely 100% seen the first one, because that one, I mean, come on. Hands down, just one of the classics. Like you said, Wes Craven, freaking great one from 1996. I've seen bits and pieces. I think of 2 and 3, and I'm really not too sure that I've seen 4.
Okay.
So couldn't really remember. I remember most of the plot kind of going through it. I really don't want to look up anything up on YouTube just in case, spoiler alert, sometimes things get thrown in there on accident.
Yeah.
So just kind of went off recollection memory, just dove right on in.
That's the best way to do it. And especially going in, I think for any Scream fan, they just at least need to see the first one. They don't even need to see the last 3 that were just recently released. So you're a safe fan just to go in after seeing the first one.
Exactly.
Let's talk now. So what did you all think of it?
It was a movie.
You always say that.
Max got some feels. I know Max got some feels.
He
Like
always
it was,
does.
honestly, for what I had, I was very scared because before we get into that, what did y'all think about like another Scream movie after Wes Craven passed away in 2015? What did you think about them like saying we're gonna do another movie? But like how what was your initial feelings?
Bill, why don't you go off first?
I would say honestly, I mean, for the most part, I think Scream movies have just been a ton of fun. Like I don't feel like they're ever out there to try and break any kind of glass ceilings or anything, but I think they're just always super entertaining. So when I saw this new one come out, I was like, oh, for sure. Like, because I think my favorite horror movie of all time is Halloween, and so I love slasher movies. I'm not a big paranormal demonic kind of guy, you know what I'm saying? But I love a good slasher, and so with Scream, I mean that's slasher, right? And so no, I'm here for it. I was ready for it when they first announced it.
I was a 50-50 on this. First, I was like, why? Like, out of everything that we could reboot, since we live in this day and age of reboots and knowing that we're going through sequels, I was like, okay, all right, fine. I don't like the fact that Wes Craven isn't here anymore, because then I would have loved his say for it, and given some of his input. But then there's the fact that they wanted to make it for Wes and how they honored it for Wes. I thought that, okay, as long as they can do it justice, then we're fine. And then knowing the fact they brought in Tyler Gillett, I'm sorry, I'm going to brutal these names, Tyler Gillett, and then Matt Bellini Open. I'm going to brutal these names, I'm so sorry. But these are the guys behind Ready or Not. And
Radio Silence.
Radio Silence, of course. And knowing how well they did with Ready or Not, and I was like, all right, this makes sense why they brought them on, because I enjoy that, and I loved what they did with the like twists and turns of that film. I'm not sure if both of you have seen Ready or Not.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And that was just a crazy thrill ride, and I could see where they brought in inspiration for that if they wanted these directors to come on to direct Scream. And then they also know what's going on with the current state of culture. They were also YouTube guys before they made it big in Hollywood. So knowing how they are with this newer generation of people and audiences, I knew there was something that they could tell with the story. And then the fact that Kevin Williamson came back with the help establish these characters more and be on set active more, just like how he was in the originals. I just thought, okay, then if Kevin's back, then there's got to be something good here. And then the cast alone, with seeing the three OGs come back, but then seeing Melissa Barrera, who I didn't really know as well, just from In the Heights, and then Jack Quaid, who I absolutely adore in The Boys, I was like, okay, then this is going to be an interesting ride. And then
Didn't know that was that girl from In the Heights.
Really? You didn't know that was just Melissa? I enjoyed her in The Heights, but I loved her more here.
I will say the first trailer, I thought the movie was gonna be like ass, because that first trailer looks so terrible, especially with the smart house, like door unlock, door unlocked, door lock. I'm like, oh god, this looks so cringy. And I'm not a really big Jenna Ortega fan. I think she's because she was very annoying in Babysitter Killer Queen. And I just had no faith going in this movie, and I was really surprised. I don't know if I was surprised because I had no expectations, or that like they were just met. Like it's weird, but it was fun. Like this is the first ever. Obviously, I'm going to go off the limb and say I'm the youngest one in this podcast. I'm 22, and I've never experienced a Scream movie in theaters. I always thought it was scary, but as an older man, you start to appreciate the older movies. You watch all the Scream movies, you're like, man, I wish I could see a Scream movie in theaters. And then, they said, we're making a new one, and I'm like, yep, all right. Saw it in theaters, and it was fun.
Yeah, these were great to see in theaters, because it was my first time seeing a Scream movie in theaters. I was like 15 when the fourth one came out.
Wow.
So, very close. My friends and I were supposed to sneak in, but the kid who I went with, he's like, one ticket for Scream, and the girl at the checkout where you get your ticket goes, can I see an ID? Meanwhile, the three of us are standing there waiting to say we were supposed to go see, like, I don't know, like the Lorax or something that was like out at the release at the time. And
Jesus.
the three of us just looked at him just like, dude, why did you just mess this up?
Bro, just
The
take the
first
whole
step.
operation right there.
Yeah. So then again, I was like, as for someone who grew up with them, just watching them on TV or VHS or whatever, it was thrilling to see it for the first time a Scream movie in theaters. So,
But so what would y'all like to talk about? You want to talk about the positives? You want to talk about the
let's
negatives?
have positives first.
All right, positives. Opening scene. It was better than I expected. It really captured the vibe of the first Scream movie with that
True.
opening scene with Drew Barrymore, and it kind of broke away from trend because usually the opening of Scream movies they'll have like a super A-list actor. You're like, whoa. Like the first one had Drew Barrymore, the second one had Jada Pinkett and Omar Epps, the third one had Lev Schreiber, and the fourth one had like Kristen Bell and what's that woman's name?
There was a whole
Anna
bunch.
Paquin.
There was a whole bunch of girls in the fourth one because it was just they watched Stabs and over and over and all the prequels and sequels that led up to all of them. But the last one was like Amy Teagan, who was like in Friday Night Lights and all that stuff. Seeing the someone like OG, like a Jenna, like embodied like the Drew Barrymore involvement of it. Like I just pictured Drew Barrymore standing there.
That was.
He really did a great job, I thought, with that scene. It was one of the best openings I think since the original.
Oh yeah, definitely. And then I feel like it really did capture like, oh wow, it's going down in this movie, and I like the opening scene.
It was surprising what you find out what the results are in the end after when that happens. I will say I was very surprised.
Are we gonna talk about spoilers? It's been like almost a month when this comes out. I think we should. Screw it.
If you want to talk spoilers, Mac, if you're my co-host, you.
Yeah, we're gonna spoil it. So if you don't want spoilers, skip to. So Bill, what did you like about? What was one of the aspects of Scream that you like?
I guess kind of tag on to what you guys are just talking about. The opening scene, for me, I think they definitely did a great job of capturing the essence. I mean, I kind of agree with you, Mac. Once they kind of got to the whole door unlock, lock again, unlock, lock again, I was like, all right. Again, people, that's why you don't get those kind of alarm systems. But
No.
But maybe, I don't know, maybe that's just me. But no, I thought they did a great job of like, at first, when she first picked up the phone, I'm like, just take the batteries out of the phone. It's a landline, right?
Mm-hmm.
I said, movie ends. Take the batteries out of the phone. Movie ends, right? But I thought it was cool how I kind of felt like he calls back, and I kind of felt like the conversation kind of had its own pace to itself, and it kind of pulled you in without having to be too, I guess, kind of pushy about it. Because obviously with the Scream movie and with the first Scream, they're kind of trying to go for something there, but it didn't really feel like they were trying to go too hard for it. It kind of pulled you in and kind of embodied that in itself from the original.
Mm-hmm. So I guess the one thing that we need to talk about are the characters. So we got the new generations. We got Samantha, Vince, Chad, Amber, Wes, played by Clay from 13 Reasons Why. So I like to think that Clay got his life around, stopped seeing ghosts of Hannah Baker, and just decided to go to Woodsboro and live out his life. Some returning people too. We got Judy from the fourth movie, the sheriff. We got Roger L. Jackson, who, fun fact, is also the voice of Mofo Jojo, aka Mojo Jojo from Powerpuff Girls.
No, he's not. Are you serious?
He is.
No, he is.
Oh, that just made my day. That's so
He's
good.
iconic.
We also have we got Courtney Cox back as Gail, David Arquette, my man, the wrestler, the WCW champion, as Dewey, and we got Nev Campbell as Sidney Prescott. Yeah.
Now, since we talk spoilers, someone else OG comes back.
Oh
So
yeah.
there's a hero.
Wait,
Billy
what?
Loomis comes back.
Oh yeah, he's a ghost.
That's true. Yeah, you're right.
I
didn't
was
know.
like,
Freaking
what?
Skeet Ulrich.
I turned to my sister and I was like, what is happening right now? Why is Billy Loomis back? And then you realize, oh my God.
They couldn't get
That's
Matthew
the
Lillard
dog.
back. They couldn't get Shaggy back, and that's pissing
I was
me
so
off.
hoping for Shaggy to come out, my guy.
Me too.
I was
He's like, you gotta have two ghosts in a sequel.
say what you want about that dude, but I love that guy.
story.
Freaking Shaggy, freaking 13 Ghosts. Come on.
We love
But
alert here.
So yeah, the reason why Ski Ulrich is back as Billy is because the main character, Sam, is actually Billy Loomis's daughter, and it's kind of like that aspect of the film. I liked it, but her having the whole schizophrenic, like ghost talking to, trying to repress her serial killer rage. I'm like, I don't know about that. And it looks like did they digitally
Sure.
de-age? Did they digitally de-age Ski Ulrich? Because every time he popped, I'm like, is that supposed to be like what you look like from the first movie when you got killed?
I guess so, because the man is obviously in the same age bracket as Sydney now, so they had to like go back in time and say, let's try to look like how would you look like if you're almost dead.
But what did y'all think of the new characters? Because obviously this is the second time that they've introduced like the new generation, new blood. Because the first one was Scream 4 when they had Hayden Panettiere, freaking what's Macaulay Culkin's brother's name? That dude, and then Emma Moore, yeah, and then Emma Roberts. So what did you guys think of the new cast? Did you think they did a good job?
I think it's better than the Scream 4 cast. Oh, I love the fact that Melissa Barrera was like the new face of Scream. They really let her shine here. I really enjoyed what they did with her character. Say what you want about what they did with Billy Loomis. I like the sister relationship that she has with Jenna Ortega. I thought the two were able enough to play off well with each other. I got that sisterly bond from them because Sydney was always an only child, so seeing somebody like have at least a companion to them was kind of nice. Because all the other victims over the years, they were either siblings or just a lonely, loner. So it was nice to see like that connection there with the characters. So, and I liked.
Sorry.
Oh no, go ahead, man.
How about you, Bill? Did you like the new characters? Did you think they were one-dimensional or fleshed out?
No, man, I actually kind of did. Even who's that one goofy dude? It looked like Post Malone Gone Country in the beginning. That creeper dude. He was.
Oh, right.
He just kind of totally threw me off when we saw.
Vince.
My wife and I couldn't stop laughing when we saw that guy.
It was Vince.
But no, I honestly I like the new cast. I didn't think because for most movies similar to this, like different slasher movies, they're super one-dimensional, super like basic, just kind of white plate kind of characters that we got here. But I feel like there's a little bit more to these guys, and they kind of let us in on a little bit more to each one.
Mm-hmm.
And no, I enjoyed it, man. I thought they did a great job. I didn't feel like anyone was too like just kind of offbeat or trying to be too much of a, I guess, slasher film character, if you know what I mean.
Did you like the fact that some of them reminded you of the original first film? Because immediately when the girl who plays Mindy, Jasmine Savory Brown, she reminded me a lot like Randy.
Oh yeah, that's exactly what they were trying to do. Because actually,
I loved that.
Fun fact, freaking Jasmine Brown and Mason Gooding are both actually the uncle. They are the nephew and niece of Randy, and Randy's sister, played by Heather Matarazzo, is actually in this movie. She's like, hey, what's up? And they have a little theater room in their house dedicated to Randy. And that's like, I thought that was a good send off because the way Randy died in the second one still pisses me off. Like,
I think it upsets a lot of people. It does. Randy is a good character. Oh, sorry, spoiler alert to Bill, because since he's seen parts.
True. Hey, it's been how many years?
It's been like 20 years. It's been like almost.
Right. We're good. We're totally good.
Yeah, but I liked them, especially Jasmine. She was awesome as freaking because all the meta jokes she was making, I was the only one in the theater laughing, and everyone looked at me like it's funny. Like I'm like, oh my god, I'm a true nerd.
It was great. My sister and I were laughing about that the entire time, and I just like she brings. She does a really great job bringing that horror like fan energy to the screen, and I loved her in every single way. You could definitely tell she really got into the mind of Jamie Kennedy during that time and was just like went all out. And if you like her, you'll like her in Yellow Jackets. She's excellent in Yellow Jackets.
Isn't it funny when she was going off about the rant about the how the that quote unquote the last stab movie sucked. And I thought about two examples in that because you mentioned now radio silence that kind of use like the real life culture. So do you think they were trying to talk about Scream 4, how everyone said it was like the worst one in the series, even though the third one's the worst? Or do you think they were talking about Star Wars?
I think it was just like a Star Wars type thing because I don't think that they'll talk about the last one being worse, even though everybody knows the third is the worst one, given now it's a slap in the face to all of its fans. Definitely like a Star Wars type thing, or like even say like a recent Halloween Kill situation, which we don't want to go down that territory. But
Nope.
yeah, it's a nod to knowing how the other, I guess, sequels didn't excel or play off well.
So what was y'all's favorite kills in this movie?
Oh gosh,
That was one of the big positives I saw from reviews, that people said the kills were very like brutal and creative, and I agree. And I can probably tell my favorite kill, and that's the one near I think that's it has to be the near end when one of the killers, who we'll talk about later, got set on fire and then shot.
Oh, bro.
Oh,
yeah.
that was amazing. That had to be like my
100%.
top. That one was a good one, and I liked the tension for one of them. There was like, I thought one of them was gonna get killed in the basement. If you guys remember, there was that they went downstairs into the basement, and it was to go back to the original OG where Rose McGowan was killed in the garage, in the basement, because you never go alone in the basement, which they make it clear in the movie.
Right.
And nobody was killed there, but anything that was done in the house, I would have to say, was really creative. I think that last act really does excel, and like what we're going to talk about later with the best kill is definitely when that character caught on fire. Definitely there.
100%. I guess I got to go with that one. As soon as she said hand sanitizer and I saw her fall back and flip the stove on, I was like, oh, it's about to go down. Bad things are about to happen.
Yet. She got shot like
Right.
multiple times. I was just like, oh my God. But I think the most depressing here, though, I have to mention the really sad part, though, is that we see Dewey, unfortunately, die, which I cried. Like, I never cried in a horror movie before, and
so
that
bad.
was the time where I cried my eyes out.
It was at least he got like a pretty good, I mean, it was a pretty brutal kill, which I mean, again, is sad, but I feel like he didn't get just like, kind of got a cheeseball kill or anything off, just kind of got blown off, but it was like, at least it was kind of epic for him to go out that way.
It's such BS. We are in the David Arquette renaissance. Like, I don't know if y'all saw You Cannot Kill David Arquette.
Yes.
Awesome documentary.
Yes,
that man
yes.
He will be my WCW champion. He survived a death match with Nick Cage. He was also the dad in Spree. He was entertaining. Like, David Arquette is like probably in one of the best periods of his life, and I'm happy for him. And like, he's getting a lot more respect now in Hollywood again, and I'm awesome. So seeing him in this, I was like, oh yes. And then like, I kind of figured it was gonna happen because like the trailer kind of spoiled it. I was like, okay, he's probably definitely gonna bite it, and like it was just sad. And then seeing Courtney Cox emotional, like knowing that Dewey died, it was like, oh man, that's like
right.
That was like she's like that's like her other husband, that not even her like they were together in real life. Now seeing them like killed off in this series is like heartbreaking.
Yeah.
So seeing her go out for revenge is also really great in this movie. I really liked that with the revenge tie in it too.
And that can lead into how did you two feel about the legacy characters being handled? Because I heard a lot of people didn't like the way they were handled. They kind of like said they were kind of felt like the back seat to like the new generation, and I was like, I can kind of see that, but I think they had I think I complained about that in my review, but like I still feel like that they treated them at least with some form of respect in the end, but kind of made them seem like the background, because like Nev Campbell didn't even show up to like maybe the last 20 minutes of the movie.
I admired what they did because they're trying to get this to a brand new generation of audiences, and knowing the fact that they have to kind of let go of the reins, and they do get the honor and respect from the OG characters. sitting there, you want to like, you know, be like, I really want to see Sydney in this situation, but you know, there's a new way to tell this, and I think they did it in the right way, and letting, you know, them be in the back seat of the drive, let the driver drive. I thought they did everything that they well justice. So with those characters, so especially with, you know, what they did with Dewey, I think that what they did was really, really great. Even though his ending is tragic, I really liked what they did with him. So.
Yeah, for sure. I think I have to agree. I kind of feel like, yeah, to your point, Mac, they did kind of feel backseat. They kind of felt like, to me, they kind of felt like mom and dad of the movie. Like they were kind of there, but then, you know, most of the movie and stories taking place with the kids. But no, I feel like they didn't do. I feel like, you know, Dewey got his big scene, even though it had to be a sad scene. I feel it was kind of, I don't know, kind of left me with some feels. How it was just like he shot him 3 times, and it was just like a quick flash of a bulletproof vest that kind of revealed why Ghostface wasn't dead then, which I thought was kind of cheap. But the other two, for Courtney and Nev, I mean, at the very end, for them to have that final battle scene, especially with that girl once they shoot her, and she's like, "I'm gonna pass the torch to you." I'm like, yes. I was like, let's go. Mm-hmm. So I don't know. I thought it was awesome with how they handled them, and I don't know. I think it was good that they didn't give him too much spotlight, because again, it's, you know, not a reboot, but you know what I mean.
I like the fact they didn't hone it in as much as like what Halloween Kills did.
Oh yes.
What they did with Halloween Kills was just a nightmare. What they did to poor freaking Jamie Lee Curtis.
If they do opposite of Halloween Kills, they'll be success.
Well, how they honored Wes Craven.
Oh, I loved that, honestly.
Oh, absolutely.
They knew
at the very end got me, and then what's his name? They actually named one of the characters, right? Dylan Minette.
Yeah, Wes Hicks.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Kind of paying homage to the guy.
Okay. Now we got to talk about the one main thing, and now I don't know how you guys felt about this, but we got to talk about the killers now.
It was dumb.
Oh no,
I hated it. I thought it was so. I thought it was so stupid. Like, okay, so the killers, if you didn't, spoiler alert, one of the killers is actually, funny enough, I was looking at this. Didn't know that was the same girl from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that got like absolutely wrecked by the flamethrower in the can. I didn't like this poor girl. This poor girl has been through hell in the last 2 years.
Her favorite song is Alicia Keys' "This Girl's on Fire."
Oh my god.
Yeah, on fire. That's her theme song now.
That was like, she was one of the killers, and then shocking, freaking the main girl's boyfriend, played by Jack Quaid. I thought it was Finn Jones the whole movie until the end. I was like, wait, that's not Finn Jones. Iron Fist? But like, he's one of the killers. I was like, wrong one. What's wrong? They both look alike, but like, they're both the killers.
So
and what was their reason saying that like they wanted to redo the last Stab movie, but do it their own way, like a real like.
It was all like on the lines of that. You're getting there. Full of a mess that whatchamacallit, the other killer, not Jack Quaid.
Amber.
But what's her face? I can't even. Amber, thank you. Was the other one. I was like, the way that Amber's going down this path, Jack might be the only one, the only killer that's standing. But no, but it was something else. I really like the fact that these two were the killers, because it reminded me like how the original were, you know, Billy was the killer of the boyfriend. Here it's Jack Quaid, who's, I should say his character, his name is Richie in the film, you know, is the killer. So they really brought back the original vibes to that, and I didn't see that coming until like the very end. I was like, okay, they're really embodying the first film to, you know, have the killer be the boyfriend.
I didn't like. I thought it was dumb. I was like, why are these people the killers? Like, it's so, like, it's like, especially with like, she's like, what they like. When they're about to kill Amber, they're like, "No, it's not me. It's you gotta blame the media." I'm like, "Oh my gosh!" I'm like, "Shut up, just go away." But that's a callback to that's a callback from the first movie. Skeet Ulrich's like, horror movies don't make psychos; it makes psychos more creative. Like, that's true. It is true.
It is true. Bill, what did you think of the killers?
You know, obviously it wasn't like too much of a, I guess, twist per se, because for the most part you kind of, I don't know, once the main girl comes in, she brings her boyfriend along, like, boyfriend's already kind of suspect number one from the very beginning, just from being, you know, connected to her in that way. But I don't know. Once they kind of did the whole unmasking thing, it's like they kind of tried to play it off of like, oh, he could be the killer, she could be the killer, she could be the killer, and he's like trying to do the whole trying to persuade what's her name, Sam, that Tina may have been also the killer as well. I'm like, okay. And then the whole, again, like Max said, the whole media thing and trying to say, oh, we want to redo our own movie and do it this way. I'm like, you're kind of losing me here.
Yeah.
Kind of losing me. I love the kills, love everything building up to that point, but I was like, I don't know. It felt kind of lacking for me, I guess.
I must say, though, the reason, though, it's better than the third.
Who's the killer in the third?
It was Cindy's brother.
Oh, yeah.
Brother!
I really
That's
don't.
where it gets wild, Bill. If you haven't seen the third one, it's the killer in that one. It's Cindy's half-brother.
No.
It's bad. Don't.
That sounds about right.
Let's talk about Easter eggs, and I think we all know what our favorite Easter egg is. Did you see what Dead Meat was in the movie? Freaking James A. Janice and Chelsea A. Rebecca.
Yes.
Also, congratulations on their wedding. They just recently tied the.
That's true.
Over the.
I saw
weekend.
that.
So cute, but yeah, if you remember.
Yay.
On the past iteration of the podcast, the Mac Movie Reviews podcast, me and my friend Jason actually got the chance to talk to James, and I asked him. I said, would you see yourself in a movie one day, like maybe it's a cameo or maybe like a role? He said, I'd love to do it. And then freaking 2 years later, they're in it, and I had my Dead Meat attire on. I pointed at the screen, I was like, oh, there he is, there they are, like yeah. Also, did you guys see the other Easter egg?
Which one was that?
So remember Hayden Panettiere, how she was in the fourth movie, and her character Kirby. Wes Craven said that she could have maybe survived, like be a survivor. And
I was going to bring this up. Yes.
And on the side, when the Dead Meat are there, like talking about the stab movies, you can see like Woodsboro survivor Kirby, and it's her talking about how she survived it. And it was like, what?
Would you see her come back for the films? I would actually kind of like to see her come back.
I liked her character because she was like sassy and like Hayden Panettiere. She's an all-star. Like whatever she's in, she's awesome. I still remember for being that little girl and Remember the Titans. Like she'll always be that for me.
I think she would have really great chemistry between her and Mindy in the film. Given the fact they both love the horror movies. I think they would have great chemistry going back and forth. I could actually like see it now as we're talking here. So they would have really great dialogue. So maybe they'll bring her back. I would actually like to see her back. But the one thing is that I was also reading is that one thing is that they'll never do to Sydney is that Ghostface will eventually get her. Ghostface will never kill Sydney, and that's what the fans want. They know. I could never see Cindy getting killed.
If you kill off Cindy, you're kind of just saying like we're done with Scream. Like there's really you can't have a Scream movie without Cindy because she is like Neve Campbell is pretty much like she's the Laurie Strode of the series. Like you have to have her. If you try, that's why that Scream TV series I didn't really click with it because like she didn't show up. It was kind of like another like thing of it, but it's like I don't know. Mm-hmm. It was just if you kill off Sydney, then you really have to end the series. That's when you jump the shark.
Did you guys know she also improvised that line on Sydney effing Prescott?
Not surprised.
No, but that's awesome.
I love that line. I love that line.
So, we're going to talk about the last ending shot that is very familiar.
Oh, the last, 10 seconds of the film?
Yeah, how it's pretty much like a love letter to the first movie's ending, how Gail was in front of the house talking in her yellow dress. And it was because the whole climax of the movie took place in in Stu's house.
Yeah.
And it's like, that is honestly the best, just that kind of like the best present in rap. And you can really tell, like, Radio Silence, they were that's one of the big things about the new Scream was that they were very respectful to Wes Craven and everything that, like, he wanted to do. Because he said, like, they were in, like, he was thinking about it, but then, he passed away. And then, like, it's just really good to see them actually just do this in a way that's very respectful. And I think the new Scream can go as like an example of how to do like a legacy sequel right. Instead of like trying to because imagine if they just said we're going to reboot it. You know how much people would have not liked this movie?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah. And they didn't include like the any of the original cast, they went down the same old television route they did with the Scream series, that would have been just a nightmare. People would have seen it, but it wouldn't have been, I don't see it being as successful. I think I would have seen it the same way the Rob Zombie Halloween, you know, how
Yeah.
Classic.
after that was.
Classically terrible.
Oh yeah, Rob Zombie's a madman, and I love it. But unless we have anything else to say about Scream, do y'all got anything to say? And we'll give our ratings. And if you want to see more Scream,
I'm ready for more, but as long as they don't kill off Sydney or Gail, then we're good.
True.
so
Yeah,
oh, go ahead.
Go
Bill.
ahead, Bill.
I was gonna say, I think one of my favorite things about it, but you're right, that ending shot, I was like, man, why is that the slow pan back from the house? I was like, why does this all look so familiar for whatever reason? I was like, that's what it is. You're right, dude. That's exactly what it is. But I loved, I guess, two things that I really enjoyed was one, obviously being in the famous house, Stu's house, and then watching like the old Screams and seeing like the exact shot of like those, you know, that doorway or the hall or whatever, then panning back to the actual movie. And it's like, it's the same door, same hallway. It's like, that's so awesome. Kind of almost three-dimensional there, but also all of the, you know, like the classic thing where it's like it's a close-up shot like on the person's face or whatever. They open a door, they open the fridge, and when they shut it, there's something or someone behind it. But for the most part, like 9 out of 10 times there wasn't. I was like, she kept trying to reel us in with those, man. It was so just ridiculous how they kept plugging that in there. But I was like, honestly, I kind of like it because most of the time whenever they only do like once or twice, and there always is something behind it. But like I said, 9 out of 10 times there wasn't. I was like, hey, you got me, Scream. You got me. You got me this 9 out of 10 times.
So, final rankings for Scream 2022. Bill, you are first.
Ooh, me first. You know, it was a fun time, but by no means movie of the year. I'm gonna have to go. Just out of 10, I guess, is our ranking. Let's go 5 out of 10. Good times. Nothing great, but good times.
Mac, you want to go?
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10 because it was fun. It did the job right. It's actually a good January movie, but you know there's still some flaws to it because no movie's perfect, and I don't think anything will ever top the first Scream movie.
For me, I loved it. I'm ready to say it like as my personal like Scream self would give it 10 out of 10, but I'm gonna give it a 9 out of 10 because I really did love it for what it did. It's 10 times better than what a lot of horror movies are nowadays. So, and as someone who's a huge admirer of horror movies and loves Scream with all of my heart, I loved it. So, yeah.
Come on.
So,
All right,
go
so
see Scream.
Yeah, it's still in theaters now. Go see it before the Batman kicks his ass in March. But anyway, let us wrap up the episode with some box office numbers and the surprise. All right, so to start it off, we're going to be talking about the box office reports for the past weekend. So for the weekend of January 28th to 2020, to January 28th to January 30th, at number 10, we got Licorice Pizza. Number 10 is West Side Story. Number 9 is Licorice Pizza. Number 8 is Ghostbusters Afterlife. Number 7 is American Underdog. Number 6, shockingly, is The 355. Heard that is tanking right now. The Kingsman's at number 5. Number 4 is Redeeming Love. Number 3 is Sing 2. Number 2 is Scream. And shockingly, Spider-Man No Way Home is back at number 1 with $11 million.
It's killing it. Spider-Man is killing it.
Heck yeah.
Did you enjoy it, Bill? The Spider-Man new No Way Home?
You know, I don't know. I felt a bunch of different ways about it. I think overall as a story, I thought it was good, but I kind of picked it apart in my own review, just how I was like, man, I don't know. But then once they brought back Tobey Maguire, I was like, nothing but love for the dude. So I was amped to see that guy on screen again.
Right now, though, the big hit though is Andrew Garfield. So who would you pick over, Andrew or Toby?
Toby. I'm a Toby guy all the way. I grew up watching those time and time again.
What's your surprise, Mac?
So this is an idea presented by Kristen, and I signed off on it. Is that on the next episode, because we have the episode that's gonna come out before this one, which is the top 10 best movies of 2021.
We'll have top 10, and then this will be Scream. So
yeah,
the next episode will be this one that you're about to talk.
The next episode we're gonna do is that we're going to. Christian's going to recommend one movie for me to watch that I've never seen before, but she's seen. And I'm recommending one movie she should watch, and we're both gonna take our picks like we recommend for each other, and we're gonna watch it. And we're gonna review, give our thoughts on the next episode.
All right, are you ready to know your movie, Mac?
Yeah, what you got?
Okay, actually, you get a choice.
Oh shit,
Would you rather have the comedy or the drama?
comedy.
You are going to review Barb and Star Go to Vista de la Mar. Which I enjoyed, but it got some mixed reviews. So that's my movie you're going to review. You picked the comedy. I had the drama. Do you want to hear what the drama was?
The drama.
The drama was going to be Pig, which is the Nicolas Cage movie, which is
No!
excellent. You should have picked the drama. You should have picked the drama.
Mac. I will say, Barb and Star was just all out fun. That was such a
It
fun
was
movie.
fun. I really enjoyed it. It was
We
worth
watched
the
it on a
20
whim
bucks.
one night.
It was
and
worth the $20 I paid for it. I paid the $20. I was like, all right, I want to see
too.
this. And it excelled. I love the Jamie Dornan singing part. Oh my gosh, that was so funny.
I hate
Great.
Mac, it's not as bad as you think, man.
It isn't that bad. It's
I
got
could
a
have watched the
love
Nicolas
story.
Cage movie. He's always bad.
But Pig isn't bad. I loved Pig. Pig was in my top 20 movies of the year. So I also recommend that you watch Pig, but you're watching Barb and Star, man.
You made the choice, Mac.
All right, what are you picking up for me?
All right, Kristen. This one is, as the kids would say, a certified hood classic. It is a hood movie, and
Okay.
I know. How do I say this without being racist?
Don't cancel us. Don't cancel us, man.
We're fine. No one gives a shit. You being a suburban white woman, you are going to watch the 1992 classic Menace to Society.
Oh, I love it. All right, is this a all right? So it has to, and the other rule is, it has to be made for streaming, right?
It's on HBO Max.
Perfect. I got the HBO
So,
Max.
Have you seen any clips of Menace to Society?
I think I've seen clips of it, but I haven't seen the full thing. So this is good for me.
Ooh, you're about to be in my world now.
I'm ready for it.
Kristen's going to be very changed on the next episode of the podcast.
I'm ready to be
She dives into Menace to Society. Bill, have you seen Menace to Society?
I can't say that I have.
Oh man, you gotta dive in that world too. You both should watch it.
The Hood classic.
Yeah, it actually is. It's like people called it a Boys in the Hood parody, but no, it's actually like a more raw version of Boys in the Hood. That's all I'll say.
I kind of want to watch this
Okay.
tonight.
So
I'm prepared.
that's gonna do it for this episode. We want to thank Bill for coming on. Bill, you want to tell the folks listening where they can find you and what you have upcoming next, so they can be on the lookout for it.
Of course, yeah. Again, just first off, Kristen, Mac, you guys have an awesome show. I've listened to quite a few so far, and I love all the content. I love all the commentary. Obviously, you guys are a hoot to listen to, so it's a ton of fun. It's a great show. So obviously, keep doing what you're doing. Love it.
Thank you.
And again, I'm Bill from Bill Reads Bad Reviews. You can find me on Insta at Bill Reads Bad Reviews and Twitter at BRBR_Bill. And I'll be coming at you live every Friday with new episodes, putting out trivia reels to see if you guys can guess the episodes I'll be covering that week.
Ooh.
And yeah,
I
just
do
keeping it
like
coming
your
with the bad
trivia.
reviews.
I do like your trivia reels. They're fun.
Oh,
do
thank
watch
you.
them.
Yeah,
I've
that's
seen a
awesome.
couple.
Did y'all know that David Arquette was a certified Bob Ross painting instructor?
He
Really?
was. I did hear that because what they did for the screen thing. He gave everybody in the cast painting lessons, like a Bob Ross
Yeah.
painting thing. And then I also
They do
found
lessons
out,
like on film breaks.
yeah. And then he also owns the rights to Bozo the Clown,
Ooh.
He does. I did
which
not
is
know that.
amazing. Which I also recently learned when he went on this press tour, and I was like, this man can do anything.
He's the man. He's a legend.
But thank you, Bill, for coming on our show. You are
Thank you for
now
having
a
me.
friend to the show and more than welcome to join us and talk more film fun whenever you'd like. So if you hear us chatting or want to see an upcoming film, please don't be a stranger. Come on our show. We'd love to have
Awesome.
you
Love
again.
it. Thank you guys so much again.
No
All right,
problem.
Mac.
All
It was a
right.
good episode, Mac.
Yes, it was. And we will see you all in the next episode. Bye.
Bye.